motherfucking bag. Stand out the way, I made. Sacrificing time for this shit, man, I got a plan. Tried to tell niggas years ago, they ain't understand. Riding by myself and it's cool, I'm all in my head. Everything in life you can't replace, I build relationships. Pretty little smile make a nigga wanna lock it in. We met the same time I lost a friend, we should try again. You been on my mind, you should hop in. I ain't gon' hurt you, baby girl, you know we locked in. Used to be on FaceTime calls on the regular. Never made time, landed on my busy schedule. Now every time I hit the bay, you know I think of you.
Henny the Moore reporting live from the liquor store, man. And when all three of us come together, man, it's Cowboys Uncut.
Goddess.
West Coast Cowboy in the middle, the Kanye West of this content stuff.
And I'm a day one type of girl. Ain't nothing wishy-washy over here. I don't jump around, stick to one side. Yeah, the silver, the blue, we got them in their feelings. That star on the field, come pay the D a visit. They say it's hatred, is it? I call it hate and simping. Cause if we wasn't that hating, they wouldn't be in our business. Listen, West Coast say the water tastes better. The fan base go harder, and all the ladies get wetter. Yeah, that's how it is when you straight reppin' for Dallas. We get it in the trap, and landlord tell us what's happening. No explanations in no shape, form, or fashion. When Henny drop the stats, ain't nothing else to be asking. Them numbers don't lie, that's why your argument dry. And we still got them rings, you got your eyes on our prize. Whether an eagle, a giant, or a commando, you in the parking lot crying, we in the Lambo, we stay in our bag, we run it up in the draft. You still talking about the 90s, so who's stuck in the past? Get off me, and I'ma need you 6 feet back. And we ain't hearing nothing till your team beat that. And we ain't scared of running. So one team over here is Cowboys, believe that. Yeah, this you got is the poet. Big up West Coast Cowboys, HTM Sports, and Landlord from Alabama. Y'all check them boys out, man. Don't play around with the Cowboys content. Yeah, and you know it's DC. Yeah, DC4L. All day, every day.
My dear Aunt Sally, we is at the P right now. We gotta go to free agency, then we gotta go to draft, then we can talk about training camp.
And Stephen Jones, who's also a multi-millionaire, moves and feels like a what? Like a dude that is got $15 in his bank account.
We finna come marching to Dallas with our picket signs, ticket torches, everything we can find.
And we are live. What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy, Henny the Moore, reporting live from the liquor store, man. How's everybody doing today? Happy Friday. Hope everybody got through the work week okay. Hope you ain't overstressed, overstimulated. It's time to come in, get drunk on the Dallas Cowboys content, and, you know, slap the dog shit out of an Eagles fan when you get the opportunity, man. But I appreciate all y'all for tapping in with me. We're doing a little late night show. It's about 10:37 on my side of the world right now, man. Y'all could be out at the club, at your partner house, later with your old lady, but you're right in the liquor store with me right now, man. And I appreciate y'all for showing love, man. So we're going to talk about a couple things, man. First and foremost, we got the rumors that the Dallas Cowboys are looking to add a big name corner. And then also we're going to talk about some offensive scheme and some philosophy with Brian Schottenheimer that he had back in the gap when he was the OC over there with the Seattle Seahawks. So we're going to get into all that. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, y'all, please make sure y'all hit that like button on the way into the liquor store. The more likes that we get on the content, the more that the algorithm will work in our favor. So you want to see the liquor store grow, you want to see us flourish, do amazing things, hit that like button for your boy. Also, make sure you hit the share button, because sharing is caring. If you put this content somewhere, more folks will be able to see it, more eyeballs, more views, more engagement, and it also positively affects the algorithm. So you want to help the liquor store grow, hit that like button and hit that share button. Right, and we're doing vertical format, so you got to double click it to hit the like and the share. So just double click it, and it should be able to do it. Also, man, just remember, we are going to be going out to the draft. Not to Pittsburgh, we're going to go out to D.C. for the Dallas Cowboys draft in 2027. So anything y'all seeing between now and then will be used for our fund to get out there for Cowboys Convo. Make sure y'all hit Land as well. He'll be going to training camp. But if you want to support your independent content creators, you can hit the super chats or you can hit the cash outs. Mine is at the bottom. It's $ Henny the More, man. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the content, man. So it is being reported that the Dallas Cowboys could possibly be interested in adding multi-time All-Pro, probably future Hall of Famer, if we're being honest, man, Jalen Ramsey to their roster. Now, Jeremy Fowler from ESPN reported that the Dolphins are engaged with multiple teams on a Jalen Ramsey trade with nothing imminent, right? That's the key word. Nothing is imminent right now. But they are in trade talks to try and move Jalen Ramsey. This has been a known fact that Jalen Ramsey will not be a Miami Dolphin by the time the season started. These talks have been going on for months. You know, they're actually working together to try and find a conclusion to this. So they're working together to actually try and find a trade partner. And there are several teams that want to get his services. Fowler named the following teams as potential suitors. So he named these 3 teams, so it makes me believe that these are the 3 teams that might have, reached out for Jalen Ramsey. This is all speculation, of course. But Fowler named the LA Rams, the Dallas Cowboys, and the stinking raggedy the raggedy ass Washington Commanders, man. So those are the 3 teams that he named as potential suitors to get the services of Jalen Ramsey. He said, how old is Ramsey? We don't need another injury-prone, old-ass player. Jalen Ramsey is probably like 30 or 31, if I'm not mistaken. Jalen Ramsey is only 30 years old. He would not turn 31 until October the 24th. I won't lie to y'all. I have not watched Jalen Ramsey's film lately. Right? I have not watched his film lately. So, I don't know if he's still Jalen Ramsey. Right? But what I do know is adding Jalen Ramsey, he would be one of your best corners from day one. Right? He would be one of your best corners from day one. You can say what you want about him being older. He is still special. He's still a one-on-one kind of player. The last time I checked, Jalen Ramsey was still a very good corner. He may not be what he was the best corner in the National Football League, but he's probably would be your best corner at least until, even when Trayvon Diggs gets back, you will have to have a discussion about which one is a better corner. Let's be honest. Now listen, I will double check his film and verify, right? Because it's been a minute since I've seen Jalen Ramsey play. But Jalen Ramsey, when he is healthy, when he is in full football shape, up to form, up to par, there are very few corners that you can take over Jalen Ramsey. Now, the big question for me would be, what would they be asking to give up for Jalen Ramsey? Right? Because it's not the matter of if he's somebody that I would look to go add and go get. Right? Like, he's an all-time great corner. He's one of the best corners to play in this generation. Right? He still has some tread on the tire. If we were excited about adding, Gilly, we should be excited about the possibility of adding Jalen Ramsey. So let me take a look at his contract first and see how many years he's got left and all that other good stuff, right? So let me take a look at his contract. All right, so Jalen Ramsey is actually under contract until he's 34 years old. So right now, his cap hit. All right, so his cap hit this year will be $16.6 million. In 2026, it'll be 25. 2027, it'll be 26.8. And 2028, it'll be 36.1. So he still owed quite a bit of money. Right? He still owed quite a bit of money. But, there's a little caveat that I wanted to add to this. Right? So this is the details about why they're trying to wait to move him, because they believe it'll be around June 1st when the deal gets done, and this is why. They said, but the terms of Ramsey's twice revised contract with the Dolphins have forced Miami to patiently bide their time. Either an offer too good to be true was going to come through, or the Dolphins will wait until after June 1st to split the salary cap fallout from moving on from Ramsey between both the 2025 and the 2026 seasons. The deadline for that mechanic is swiftly approaching on June 1st, meaning we're in the end game of Ramsey's presumed departure. So one of the things that they're waiting for is for the June 1st deadline to get here. Because if they wait to June 1st, they will have a little bit of cap relief. They will be able to move the cap, the dead cap hits from 2025 and 2026. So they can spread the dead cap money out pretty well, pretty evenly. So remember, so it would be dependent on what you had to give up. It'd be dependent on a lot of things. Because it's hard for me to believe the Dallas Cowboys would trade for Jalen Ramsey, take on that cap hit, and they have this ongoing feud with Trayvon Diggs. They don't know what they want to do with DeRon Bland's contract. So I don't know if they would do it, but I'm open to any damn thing. Right? The only thing I'm scared of is if they traded for Jalen Ramsey, they would move one of the other corners. You know what I'm saying? Like if they traded for Jalen Ramsey, they might send DeRon Bland back or some shit. Or they might move Trayvon Diggs and swap them out. Right? So that's one of the things that concerns me about a potential Jalen Ramsey trade. Because in an ideal world, I would want Jalen Ramsey, Trayvon Diggs, and DeRon Bland on my damn team. Even if it's only for a year, we know the DeRon Bland contract situation. We know, like I just mentioned, that Trayvon Diggs and the front office are having their issues. But I would want to see that for at least a year. What I do not want is to send Bland or Diggs away for Jalen Ramsey. You know what I'm saying? So in a scenario where I could get Jalen Ramsey, maybe restructure the contract and make it more palatable for the cap, and then keep those three guys together for a single year to try to go all in and win it all this year. I'd be willing to gamble on some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that just makes sense. Accumulate all the talent you can. Roll the dice for this one particular season. If it don't work, then you could let DeRon Bland walk, or you can also flip Jalen Ramsey yourself to a different team. There's some things you could do, right? There's some things you could possibly do. But I'm gonna put a poll up in the chat real quick, man. I'm gonna put a poll up in the chat. Would y'all trade for Jalen Ramsey? Would y'all trade for Jalen Ramsey? And if so, what would you be willing to give up? What would you be willing to give up to get his services for the Dallas Cowboys? Yeah, I don't see a point of swapping guys out either. Like if you're going to do this, and I don't think they are, but if you're going to do this, you need to try and have all three on the team for at least this season. You need to try and get all three on the team for at least one season and just see how everything falls, man. Because listen, you already have one of the better cornerback rooms when healthy. Trayvon Diggs is an all-pro. DeRon Bland's an all-pro. Siobhan Revel, a top 100 pick. Right? Then you got a former first-round pick in Elam. So you have some talent. You will have a very talented cornerback room already constructed whenever everybody gets back healthy. But adding Jalen Ramsey will put you over the top. Like I ain't gonna sit here and lie about that. Because then if you bring Jalen Ramsey in, you will be able to regulate DeRon Bland back to the slot. And DeRon Bland, in my opinion, probably plays better in the slot. I know that he personally doesn't want to play the slot because he's in a contract year and he's trying to get his bag, and they don't pay slot corners how they pay outside corners, right? But, for the sake of the team, if you go and add a Jalen Ramsey, You can have him on one side. You can have Trayvon Diggs on the other side, and then DaRon Bland would probably be the best slot corner in the National Football League at that point. Right? So I wouldn't mind doing it. In a dream scenario. Give up a late round pick, because that's a big ass contract. Like, that is a big ass contract to take on for the Dallas Cowboys, especially when you got George Pickens. You're thinking about giving a contract extension to after the trade. You got Michael Parsons' contract extension coming up. You got Tyler Smith contract extension. Like, it gets to a point, you know what I'm saying, where you might be better off just paying DaRon Bland if you're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. I would probably make the move. But before I put a stamp on it, and to be fair, I'm going to take a look at his film. Not today, not tonight. That should be too long. It's already almost 11 o'clock. But we'll do it another time. He said, "Man, Bland better do what the team needs all that contract shit." You're proving. Hey, believe me, I understand that. My boy Zay Tobin said trade for a DT instead. I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame that train of thought at all. Remember, the Dallas Cowboys, on average, are giving up 157 yards in the playoffs, man. They give up 157 yards in the playoff in the losses. Shout out to my brother, Donald Holmes, for the Cash App as well, man. I appreciate you. And, hey, man, if y'all want to be like my boy Dono and help keep the lights on in the liquor store, man, hit your boy with a Cash App or something, man. It's $ Henny the Mo. It's going to help keep me from being po'. And, we can keep pulling up liquor in the liquor store, man. So I appreciate y'all for everything y'all do and support, man. Salute to my boy Paul, too, man. But, yeah, man, I like the idea of playing Bland, keep the squad together. Yeah, because that would be the dream scenario. If a Jalen Ramsey trade does happen, I need all them guys together. It doesn't make sense to swap guys out. Like, I just need all three of them together. Make life as difficult as possible for anybody that try to pass on us. And then, I still would go out and sign a defensive tackle to shore up the middle of my defense. Because, listen, if you did trade for Jalen Ramsey and you were able to maybe get DJ Reader if he gets cut as a cap casualty, like, you will have a top 2 defense. Teams, you already got a pass rush you can trust with Michael Parsons, Dante Fowler. I think Izaraku will be fine in spot duty. We got Sam Williams coming back. So, like, the pass rush is something that I'm very bullish on. Like, I think that pass rush is going to be phenomenal. The secondary, when they get healthy, is already going to be good. It's just getting Jalen Ramsey will put them over the top. So, you already going to have a great passing defense, right, with the piece that you have. Then if you add another nasty-ass defensive tackle in the middle of that defense, there would not be shit that you could do. Oh, we got they hurt, but I'm just thinking in the future when they come back, because you'll get all your corners before the season is over with. Trayvon Diggs is going to play this year. Siobhan Revel is probably going to be on the field by like week 4 or some shit like that, like if not sooner. Because he got injured way earlier. So, like, your corners will be back, and they should be relatively healthy. Of course, they're not going to be themselves 1 year removed from an ACL. This not feasible or coming, but you'll have them back during the course of the season. It's just the first couple of weeks you're gonna have to fight and claw to get through this shit. You know what I'm saying? So, that's one thing that entices me. But in my opinion, do I think the Dallas Cowboys actually trade for Jalen Ramsey? No, because the Dallas Cowboys probably are going to run Elam out there. They're going to have to run Bland out there. They're going to figure out who else they're going to throw out there, because I do think begrudgingly they're going to have to put the run Bland in the slot. Like, it was reported he was doing slot work in OTAs, and he did not like it. But, it is what it is. You got to do what the fuck you got to do, because I want to win games. I don't really give a damn about your contract, unfortunately. I do want the black man to get paid, but shit, I want to win a Super Bowl. My boy, student of the game, said, Henny, I like to see a depth chart assessment, the O-line, all the running backs, the defensive end, the 3-1 takes behind Mozzie. We got a lot of players. I think I'll give that to y'all tomorrow. If y'all down, I will do a depth chart assessment tomorrow. We'll just go position by position. Who we think actually can get some burn, who can actually help us right now, where we're deep at, where we're weak at. So I think that's a good idea, student of the game. I appreciate you for that. This is going to be a good oop, man. So I appreciate you for the alley. Appreciate you for the alley oop, boy. He said, when do you think Overshown will be back? Probably like a little bit after halfway of the season. I think Overshown is going to play by like week 8, week 9. I don't expect to see him any sooner than that. He tore that ACL. So it's going to take some time for him to come back. He's also a linebacker that relies heavily on his athleticism, his burst, his speed. So you want as much time to have that ACL in the oven, right? They reconstructed it. They rebuilt it. It got to heal. He got to get his confidence back. So I want him to take as much time as needed before he comes back. He's already missed a gang of time as it is, man. He missed all 17 games of his rookie year, right? And then he missed like 4 or 5 games this year. He's only played 12 games in 2 years, right? And he's going to miss a large portion of this year. So I want Overshown as healthy as humanly possible before I throw him out there, right? Because he's already not a big ass linebacker. Like, he's a big human, but he's not a big linebacker. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my brother Wes, man. Salute to West Coast Cowboy, man. That's my big cousin right there, man. If y'all ain't already liked and subbed to his page, man, make sure y'all do so. Make sure y'all do so. And matter of fact, his Facebook be jumping too, so don't just go to his YouTube and sub. Make sure you go sub up on Facebook as well, man. But shout out to my brother, man. Shout out to my brother Wes. He said, yeah, like Overshown needs his athleticism to be a efficient linebacker. So I don't want to I don't want to just throw him out there. And then he got to go up here and try to get around guards and meeting power backs in the A gap and shit. Like, nah, just give him time, man. Give him time. And your tougher games are at the back half of your schedule. So if you just wait, you get him as healthy as humanly possible, and then you bring him back, when you play that stretch of 6 playoff teams from last year, like, that's probably the best thing for Overshown. Get him as healthy as for the boss fights, and then we gonna see we can keep him healthy into the postseason. That would be the ideal thing for me. I don't want to see Overshown week 4. I don't want to see him out there week 1 and no crazy shit like that. Let's get Overshown back like Thanksgiving or some shit, and then let's just rock out. What's up with you, Iceberg? I appreciate you, man. Nah, man, I don't be trying to downplay nobody or nothing like that, man. I just be talking about what I'm talking about. But hey, man, let's talk a little bit about Brian Schottenheimer's offense and what the hell they had going on in Seattle, how that panned out, and all the other good stuff, man. And listen, Schottenheimer, I was trying to look for the word, polarizing. Brian Schottenheimer was a polarizing figure because there were times where they questioned his play. At the end of the day, result says he was outstanding offensive coordinator, right? Like, there was criticisms. Like, it's sort of like the Kellen Moore thing. Like, Kellen Moore put up exceptional numbers with the Dallas Cowboys. It was just, it was just the fact that his play calling was a little wonky at times. You know what I'm saying? Like Brian Schottenheimer also had his warts. But at the end of the day, when you take a look at Brian Schottenheimer and that offense he put up there, they were exceptional, right? 2018, Brian Schottenheimer offense averaged 26.8 points per game, which was 9th best in the National Football League. 2019, they averaged 25.3 points per game, which was again ninth best in the National Football League. 2020, they averaged 28.7 points per game, which was eighth best in the National Football League. Another distinction that 2020 has for Brian Schottenheimer that a lot of people don't know, that was the highest scoring offense in Seattle Seahawks history. That was the highest scoring offense in the history of the Seattle Seahawks. They scored almost 500 points that year. Almost 500 points. To be exact, they scored 459 points. 459. They were one of the better seasons of Russell Wilson's career as well. So when you talk about the raw overall numbers, right, this was an offense that put points on the board. They were a top 10 offense every single year that Brian Schottenheimer was there with the Seattle Seahawks. Was it always perfect? No. Did fans complain about some of the play calling, saying that he ran the ball too damn much at points? Yes. Right, they did that. Did they win a lot of games and score a lot of points? And did Russell Wilson have some of the best seasons of his careers and all this other shit? Yes, that is also true. More than one thing can be true at the same time. Like, there were times where folks weren't happy with the way he called plays, and at the end of the day, for the most part, he got the job done. Right? He got the job done. I know, man. I hate that too. Yeah, how Overshown got hurt was wild. And listen, this was primarily a team that ran the football. When we talk about Brian Schottenheimer, what he did, he played a brand of football called Marty ball. Like, his daddy was Marty Schottenheimer. They believed in running the football, controlling the clock, keeping down turnovers, right? And on the other end, having an aggressive ass defense. You know, that also wreaked havoc like that. You know, that's why he was happy Matt Eberflus as a defensive coordinator, because that's the kind of defense that supplements a Marty ball offense, right? Y'all are some of the gayest, childish, dick pulling ass niggas I ever seen, man. You was no king, Charles. You came all the way over this motherfucker to say ascot. You are pathetic, worthless, and your mama's not proud of you. You should gargle glass. You should drink bleach. You should blind yourself so you'll never have to see a real nigga again. Ascot. You dirty bitch. But anyway, back to what the hell I was talking about. Makes sense though, considering his first pick was Booker. Yeah, because listen, he ain't lying when he say that it's going to go the way that, you know, like the offense is going to go the way that the offensive line goes. He wasn't lying about that. They're going to lean on that. They're going to lean on that offensive line, man. Matter of fact, hey, go ahead and shoot Charles in the head, man. We don't need that nigga here. Like, this is a liquor store, but this bitch already drunk, man. He already drunk. So go ahead and shoot Cuz in the head, man. Go ahead and get Cuz out here, man. We don't want no hoe ass niggas on here on no Friday night. Bye, Miss Charles. He said, were they running 12 or 13? I know they did a lot of 11. They did some 12. They had different packages. Like, he was listen, the one thing that I will say about Brian Schottenheimer, they were multiple. They were multiple in the looks that they gave. They were multiple in the looks that they gave. And another thing that they did do explicitly is utilize motion. Right now, this might be a little hard to read, but these are some of the principles that Shotty follows. He took this from his daddy. This is actually from a playbook. This is from a playbook in 2005. He was the quarterback coach for his daddy, Marty Schottenheimer, with the San Diego Chargers, and this is a passage from that playbook. And within this passage from the playbook, they talk explicitly about the uses of motion and how they use motion to create the wanted mismatches against opposing defenses. So we're gonna take a look at this real quick and just speak on it. All right. So movement is very important to our total offensive system. There are several reasons for movement in our offense. The most prominent reasons are to create a personnel advantage by creating coverage mismatches on our X, Z, Y, H, F. To create a personnel advantage by effecting changes in run support and force responsibilities. To create secondary movement in an effort to enhance our quarterback's ability to recognize coverages. To get our personnel in better position to execute their given assignment. To create problems for the defense in man under coverages when attempting to hold or bump receivers at the line of scrimmage. To create an opportunity for indecision, confusion, and or misalignment by the secondary. To cause movement on the part of the defense in an effort to realign their personnel with the coverage calls and changes and not allow them to set themselves and react to familiar offensive patterns. Make the defense play on the move. To force opponents to spend practice time and effort on adjusting to movement patterns rather than improving defensive skills and schemes. To create a visual complexity to the defense, yet be able to run the same basic plays from a variety of looks. So that was his daddy breakdown on why they used motion within the offense. And Brian Schottenheimer does run a variant of his daddy offensive scheme, right? So if you're expecting Brian Schottenheimer not to use motion and to get away from that, it's in his blood. Like this is a birthright. This is something he inherited from his daddy. He's going to use motion, right? So it's finally going to be a time in Dallas where we will get motion. And like they mentioned within, this excerpt from the playbook, right, from the playbook that Marty had, there's a variety of things that give you a schematical advantage when you are able to utilize motion. So for one, when you're using motion, it gives you a tell on what the defense is doing a lot of times. Because if you're in man coverage and I motion a guy all the way across the field, unless they're going to pass on the responsibility to somebody else, they are going to have to readjust, run across the field with them, and tip their hand that, hey, this is man coverage right now. And listen, if it's man coverage, there's only so many things that it can be. It can be cover 5, which is a cover 2 shell, right? It's cover 2 man, which really ain't played a lot in the modern NFL. It's some form of blitz where they're manned up across the board, cover 1. But there are very, very, very few defensive calls that you bring out in man. Same thing with zone. There are very few defensive calls that are zone. It's cover 3, it's cover 4, cover 2. You can have cover 6 and cover 9, but there aren't a lot of zone plays. Like it is what it is. If you're in zone, there are a specific amount of plays that you're running. If you're in man, there's a specific amount of plays that you're running. So you give your quarterback cues in figuring out what the defense is doing. Like there are a lot of things that you can eliminate from the list, pre-snap just by utilizing motion, bringing somebody across the field, letting them set, blase. So it gives your quarterback an advantage. It's a key for them to read to figure out what is going on with the defense. Secondly, like he mentioned, when you do motion, a lot of times the defense does have to reset. They might have to shift. If they're in zone, they might have to shift over. They might have to shift over slightly. They might have to change their responsibilities on who has who. Like if it's match, right? So there's a lot of different things that go into play when you motion guys, especially if you're motioning guys at full speed. There's not no lazy jog and reset, that gives them ample time to adapt to it. Right, so we're going to see motion in Brian Schottenheimer's offense, and I'm actually really excited about it because Dak Prescott is already a very smart and cerebral quarterback. We know that he wins at the line of scrimmage a lot. You hear all the calls he makes. You see the audibles. You see the control that he has over the offense. Him having an easier time making those adjustments, understanding what the defense is doing, like that stuff will pay dividends as the season goes on, man. Because if Dak Prescott knows what he's throwing into, what he's going up against, he can get into something that can beat it. Right? So giving Dak Prescott the tools he needs to be successful with motion, I think is going to help him a lot. Now, when we talk about a Brian Schottenheimer offense, we already know it was very, very, very run heavy. How run heavy, if you ask? Well, let's see. This is Seattle's run play percentage under Brian Schottenheimer in the 3 years he was there as the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator. 2018, first year on the job, ran the ball 52.44% of the time, which was easily first in the National Football League at that point. Hold on, shout out to Cowboys Country with the $9.99 for your mind real quick, man. Hold on, let me get down here and bring up my boy. He said, towards a bottle from the liquor store. That's love right there, man. I appreciate you for the support. If y'all want to be like my boy Cowboy Country and help keep the lights on in the liquor store, man, just hit that Cash App or hit that Super Chat, man. $ hitting the more for the Cash App, and the Super Chat is right there. Just click on the $, man. I appreciate y'all. He said, defense better not get caught slipping with man on lamb. They really shouldn't play man at all, because you really don't want to man up George Pickens' ass either. I feel you, bro, but Anthony Brown was fast and he got beat deep all the time with them 50-50 balls. Yeah, because you got to think, like, even if a corner is fast, they're playing in reverse. Like, they got to backpedal. It's not like they're lined up running a race or a relay. So a 4'5", 4'6", 4'7" wide receiver can beat the shit out of a 4'3", 4'2" corner because the wide receiver actually knows what the hell the play is. He actually know where he's going. Where he's going. So straight line speed does absolutely nothing for a corner. And also, shout out to my boy Num here and Neil in the building, man. He said, what up, Henny? I slapped up 6-1 Eagles fans before checking in, man. Hey, you doing the Lord's work right there, man. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for sliding in and showing support to the channel, man. All right, so Schottenheimer, #1 rushing attack in the National Football League in terms of play percentage in 2018. 2019, they ran the ball slightly less. 45.66% of the time, that was 6th best in the National Football League. Right? That was the 6th highest percent of running plays in the National Football League. 2020, not so much, though. Right? 2020, not so much. Only 40.41% of the time did they run the football. It was 19th best in the National Football League. So they were really bottom in the National Football League in running the ball in 2020. But as a caveat, I do want people to know this. In 2020, Chris Carson, who was the lead back for the season. All right, I'm back now, y'all. I'm sorry about it. Don't trip. I'm gonna have new Wi-Fi by Wednesday. I already got them coming in to take this bullshit away, give me some new stuff. So we shouldn't have no more buffering. We shouldn't have no more delays. It ain't gonna look like I'm in a Godzilla movie no more. Yeah. So we gonna be Gucci. Come Wednesday, we get this new Wi-Fi, man. So y'all bear with me as I get through this show, though. But yeah, the caveat to 2020 though. The caveat to 2020 is that Chris Carson was hindered by a foot injury. He missed 4 games, and when he did play, it hindered his production. He only ran for 600 yards after being a 1,000-yard running back the 2 previous seasons. The backup running backs he had did not give him a lot of support in the run game. So Brian Schottenheimer pivoted. He threw the ball more than he wanted to. Now, this is the thing. Schottenheimer did want to throw the ball way more than Pete Carroll did. However, Brian Schottenheimer does, right? Brian Schottenheimer does believe in the run game. He does believe and value the deep shots and play action. So he does still want to run the football, right? He's also flexible. He knew that without his starting running back being healthy, missing games, they have to put the ball in the air a little bit more. Now it affected their ability to utilize play action. Threw for about 40 touchdowns that year. Russell Wilson did. So one now. I am with an Ethernet cable in right now, wire connection, and it still does it. So this Wi-Fi, this internet I got just ain't worth a damn. It does it when I'm on the game too, and that pisses me off. So yeah, I'm swapping them out Wednesday. We can't have this. I stay on stream way too often to have any issues with my connection, man. Like, this is a part of my life, a valued part of my life, and I can't play with it. So yeah, like, the numbers are a little wonky in 2020, but there was a good reason behind it. Now, granted, they already were at odds, right? They already were at odds about play calling, their philosophies and stuff like that. So after the 2020 season, we know that Brian Schottenheimer was fired, and it is what it is. It is what it is, man. So that was Brian Schottenheimer's run percentage. Oh, well, speaking of rushing, there's a slight misconception about how the ball was ran with the Seattle Seahawks. A lot of people say that the Seattle Seahawks had a running back stable, and that's not really the case. They had a lead back. Chris Carson was the lead back for the Seattle Seahawks in Brian Schottenheimer's tenure. He got 247 carries in 2018, and in 2019 he got 278 carries. Right? So he was the lead back when healthy. The only year that Chris Carson did not get over 240 rushing attempts was the year he had in 2020 when he missed time and was plagued with injury. But when he was healthy, Chris Carson was the lead back over there, right? He went for 1,151 yards and 9 touchdowns one year, and then in 2019 he went for 1,230 yards, right? This was a guy that could have easily rushed for 1,300 yards if he played a full 16-game season in those 2 years. So I wouldn't necessarily say it was a running back committee, because he had one back that got a lion's share of the carries. The only exception being in 2020, where he was hurt and missed time and was hobbled with a foot injury, right? But just to clear that up, by the numbers, it was more of a lead back, than an actual running back tandem. Because 2014, the second running back was Mike Davis. He did have over 100 carries, but a lion's share of them came in the 2 games that Chris Carson missed when he was a lead back himself. Like he had a 20 carry, like a 22 carry game, and then a night. So like a majority of his carries came when Chris Carson was actually out. You know what I'm saying? So I would lean toward, by my definition, he actually had a lead back. We just don't look at Chris Carson like that because he was a late round pick. But Chris Carson was a 1,151 yard rusher and a 1,230 yard rusher under Brian Schottenheimer. Had over 240 carries both years. You know what I'm saying? You try and get some cheeks, then go wait outside the courthouse for Diddy. And when Diddy get out, he can spray your ass down with some baby oil, freak ass nigga. Yeah. You one of them niggas. You want to be violated and fondled by another grown man, you nasty bastard. So I tell you what, Dr. Naked Ass, shoot this bitch ass nigga in the head. He want to get glistened up and rubbed up and fondled and shit. We don't do that in the liquor store, man. We might beat that whole ass nigga with a bottle, but we is not finna pour no baby oil on you, nigga. You got to get on with that whole shit. Cause we don't do that over here, man. So, hey, this freak ass nigga that's in the chat box, get that nigga out of here, man. What's up, cuz? Thank you for coming in here, Danny. I appreciate you for showing love to the liquor store, my brother. I'm sorry, there's weird people in here talking crazy, so we got to talk bad to them. We got to talk bad to them. Jared said he's taking O-line again. Listen. If the Dallas Cowboys re-sign George Pickens and get him an extension, I don't care what they sign in the first round. I don't care at that point. You'll have CeeDee Lamb on a contract. You got CeeDee Lamb on the contract. You will have George Pickens on the contract. You can draft a third option wide receiver in the second or third round at that point. You got 2 superstar wide receivers as it is. So if Tyler Guyton ain't working out and you need to pivot and get a real left tackle, I'm fine. All the Dallas Cowboys got to do is re-sign George Pickens. I ain't going to say a word about it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to say a word. But if they don't sign George Pickens, then we're going to have to, we're going to have to, just pray about it. We're going to have to pray the opposite prayer if that's the case. Hey, man, we know the Dallas Cowboys don't value safety. Dallas Cowboys ain't drafted a first-round safety since Roy Williams, man. I think the highest pick they spent on an actual safety was like a 5th rounder or something like that, man. It's crazy. It's crazy because we done ran out a whole bunch of UDFAs and 7th-round picks. Like, they don't be fooling with the safety room like that, man. They don't value safety like that. I don't know why, but they don't value safety like that. And right now they're not valuing running back, which concerns me. It concerns me that they're not valuing running back right now. So to take, he said, yeah, I see you have creeps in the chat. I don't know where they come from, cuz. They have nothing else to do in this chat to cause trouble. Leave them alone or block them, cuz. Put me as a moderator to help. Shoot, I got you. Don't even trip. I'm going to mod you up, kinfolk. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to rinse you up, man. I'm going to rinse you up. All right. There you go. So there's my guy, man. Welcome Danny to the wrench gang, man. Welcome Danny to the wrench gang. Y'all show him some love, man. Yeah, Caleb Downs would be worth it. Caleb Downs. Hey, Caleb Downs is like that. He's fun to watch, man. He's fun to watch. Like when I was scouting the other safety from Ohio State, I couldn't even pay attention to him because of Caleb Downs. It said you said you gonna nut in your own mama. You said you an inbred bastard. You said you don't want to live no more. You trying to commit suicide by talking crazy to Henny the Moore. Oh, damn, that's fucked up, man. I didn't know your life was meaningless. Well, I did know your life was meaningless, but you know. And I ain't gonna say that weird ass name you got, freak ass nigga. So, hey, the dude Jack, yeah, go ahead and whack Jack, man. We gonna kill Jack. He ain't about that. We gonna kill Jack. It's late at night. Niggas ain't got no life. We gonna get them out of here. We gonna get them out of here. We gonna get them weird niggas out. All right, so this is actually a play that Brian Schottenheimer liked to run while he was there with the Seattle Seahawks. This is one of the staples of the play action game that he ran. Oh yeah, man, listen. If you see weird folks, just shoot them. Just shoot them. And listen, the beautiful thing about it is these are not real people. They're probably robots, bots. And if they are real people, then they ain't worth a damn anyway. So we can talk to them any kind of way they want. They don't have any self-respect. They ain't got no self-esteem. They're sitting behind a computer screen, you know, typing bullshit into a stranger's chat box. So they don't think much about their life. It's a Friday night. They obviously have no money. They obviously have no bitches. They have nothing to do but troll. So, you know, we going to give them what they want. We going to give them some attention since they mama don't love them. They mama don't love them. They mama don't pay no attention to them, so we'll give them the attention that they're begging for. All right, the passer reads low to high. The next progression being an over route. When Shotty pointed left, talking about if he pulled up, this was prematurely the coaching point. Deep coverage on this side of the field is run off by an alert route. Here's Seattle running it against Oakland Raiders from shotgun. The conflict the play fake puts in each defender is also illustrated. All right, so boom. There is a wide receiver right there on the play side. The wide receiver is going to, when the ball is snapped, he's going to go behind the offensive line, running full speed back across the other side of the field, right? Because it's a play fake. So the wide receiver is going to slide behind the offensive line and into the flat on the other side of the field. Russell Wilson, in a boot motion, is going to run his ass to the same side as well. These two vertical routes are clearing out. You have a vertical route down the middle of the field, and you got one going down the other deep third of the field. There's going to be an over route coming from this wide receiver right here on the play side as well. So it's going to be basically a two-man read. If the contain guy gets within Russell Wilson's face, he'll be able to throw the ball to the flat to the wide receiver that ran across the field. If the contain guy is not there, then the vacated area should be back across the field on the play side, and the guy on the over route should be open. It gives them a multi-level read, right? It gives them a multi-level read. If the flat is not there, you can go to the deeper route on the over. So this is one of the staples within Brian Schottenheimer's offense that he ran when he was over there with the Seattle Seahawks. This is what it looks like. I expect to see it. Do I expect to see it from this exact look? Possibly. But we also know that because they like to use a lot of motion, right? Because they like to use a lot of motion, You can get to a lot of these looks from other packages. You could run this from under center. You could run this from an I formation. You probably could run this from pistol, right? You probably could run this from any set that you wanted to, if need be. But I do expect to see this. This is called play action slide. It's called play action slide. Matter of fact, put it in the chat box. PA slide. One of Brian Schottenheimer staple in the offense. Put PA slide in the chat box. See, you gonna learn something. You gonna see this week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles, and you gonna feel like a genius when you see the play happen. You're like, oh man, Henny said that shit was coming. I know. Yeah, but put PA slide in the chat box, man. Put PA slide in the chat box. It's gonna be one of the staples you see from the Brian Schottenheimer's offense, especially in the play action game. Yeah, there's gonna be a staple, so I want y'all to remember it. If you ever hear me talk about PA slide again, remember tonight. Remember what I was talking about, because you will see it again. I have absolutely no doubts about that. Oh, this is not the one. Hold on. This the one. So philosophically, when we speak on Brian Schottenheimer and his offense, and this will be the last one before I get out of here. So, Brian Schottenheimer had this thing called the Rule of 53 that he believed in Seattle. I'm not sure how true it is, but it's something that he believes in. So I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to tell you what it is. Schottenheimer says the real key to his offensive philosophy is rooted in the magic number 53. In his career, Schottenheimer has found hitting that number through any combination of pass completions and runs in a game is one of the biggest predictors of victory. If you rush the ball, say 30 times, and throw 23 completions, that was like the second determining factor of wins and losses after turnovers, Schottenheimer said. Some weeks it's going to be different, and it's going to be 33 completions and 20 rushing attempts. But we are always going to go in with the understanding that we should be able to run the ball and believing and expecting we can do it at a high level. So Brian Schottenheimer, from a philosophical standpoint, believes that if he gets to the magic number 53, I don't know if this has changed because this was years ago, but he believes if he gets to the magic number 53, whether it be 30 rushes and 23 completions, or 23 rushes and 30 completions, right? That still got you 53. He believes if you get there, that is an indicator to success in winning the game. So I just thought it was a nice little thing to add when I saw it, because that is something that he's quoted on believing back then. I'm not sure if it's changed a lot, you know what I'm saying, but it's something that Brian Schottenheimer definitely believes in, the rule of 53, whether it be 30 completions, 30 rushes, 25 and 28, whatever. He's trying to get to that magic number of 53. He feels good about it. If it correlates and it actually comes out to wins, I'm down with it. But it's been an hour though, man. It's been great. This was really an impromptu show. I was just putting some stuff together, doing some research. Thought I'd share everything I found with y'all. I also had ran across that Jalen Ramsey quote unquote news, so I thought I'd bring that to y'all as well, man. So I enjoyed this. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Friday. On the way out of the liquor store, man, please make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that share button. Make sure you slap the dog shit out of an Eagles fan, man. Oh, hit the Cash App on the way out if you got it. If not, don't trip. I know it's all love. It's $ Henny the more, just in case. I'll probably be live sometime tomorrow, man. At some point tomorrow, I'll go live. I'll bring y'all a show. I'm gonna reach out to some folks. You might see me with Landlord. You probably see me with Landlord. Might see me with Wes. We might be able to do Cowboys Uncut. But just stay tuned. Keep your notifications turned on. We'll be live sometime tomorrow to bring y'all some uncut and unfiltered Dallas Cowboys content. It's your boy, Henny the Moore, reporting live from the liquor store. And in the words of my big cousin, West Coast Cowboy, never look down because the star is up. Peace.